Hazy mist, smoking rollies in the back of an Acura. Acting like we sober with the pigs on the back of us. Swerving through suburbia, you're bleeding nappy, yes. Only urban to you, cultures, I'm the culture. You fucking vulture, your girl's eyes rolling B. Swear she ain't rode me on the road near the forest, but she forged for these nuts just for none. Now I'm busted in your mama's house. Smack the taste out your mouth. Take the biscuits and dip in, then dip them in the tea that I'm spilling. Room spinning from the X, then my system pure sweating for a bop with my jaw swinging vicious. My girl crying on the phone, always swear she a victim, cause her friend got evicted. Purple hickeys on my skin, always moves like a peach. A soft click of
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Riley besties. Hello and welcome to the video. I am not gonna lie, last night I full on planned today. Like, I had a schedule for today and I just woke up and I just like felt like writing. It's currently 10:15 a.m. Yes, I did sleep in, but that's okay because I'm on uni holidays. So whenever I do get the full-on urge to write, I just full-on take it and drop everything else and just pursue writing. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Something I also want to let you guys in on is that I've been just like wanting to start a new book, just like the inkling to just start a full-on new book and just to free write everything to do with it. I put the page here of what I wrote last night. It was just something really quick and really like simple, but I've had the idea kind of marinating in my brain for just like a little while, and it wasn't even like the scene I wrote here, but it was more just like the premise of the story. And yes, I still think there's potential for this particular story, and you don't really get much context here, but in my mind I know. And I think when I do get urges like that to just write something completely new that I've never really thought about, I think it's just good just to do like a quick like chapter just to get it out of my system. Do you know what I mean? So since I did that last night, I am not going to touch that project. I don't think I even call it a project yet because I haven't actually like thought about it that much. So I'm not gonna like touch it. I'm just gonna say like, cool, that's there if I need it. It's just like a fun little like free write exercise that got the urge to just write something completely new like out of my system. So now I'm actually gonna be writing another book, and this book is an actual book that I've been thinking about. I've plotted a bit, and yeah, it's an actual book. I also made muffins yesterday. I literally love baking so much. And muffins are my favorite thing because they're just so big and like chunky and like so good. But anyways, if you do enjoy the vlog, definitely subscribe to my channel because it really does help a lot. And I also wanted to announce that I'm starting a writers podcast, which is like so exciting. I'm low-key so excited. I think there might be an episode out right now, but yeah, just go check it out if you guys haven't already. But anyways, let's go ahead and get on to the vlog. Okay, so if you were curious to what book I am plotting at the moment, I'm just going through the chapters of my new project called Project GS, or I can just call it really Project G because yeah. I'm just going to be using my plotting method to just plot out each of the chapters. Very simple, very easy, though it does take a while to kind of get my mumble jumble brain like on paper. If you didn't know how I plotted, definitely check out my video up there, which is how I plotted a book in a day, and that's like my best plotting method as a pantser, and like I was able to create a method that actually worked for me and that actually made sense. So if you are struggling a bit with plotting, definitely check out that video. But in regards to like my actual story, it's kind of like a magic system where the magic is kind of surrounded by stones, and these stones are kind of like almost minerals, and they have special magical properties that allow these particular people, I think they're called like mages, or they're just like magic people who can control and manipulate these materials and draw power from them, and it's just kind of about their academy, and it is kind of hard to explain. Like every single book I try to explain to you guys, it is just so difficult. But to put it simply, the book follows a girl named Yvette. She lives with her sick mother on like the outskirts of Canada or Norway, just like somewhere like really far away. And she almost lives like in the forest because of how conservative her mother is and how controlling her mother is, even though she is sick. And she's almost like mentally deteriorating. That's kind of like the premise of the story. And also Yvette lives with her maid, who kind of takes care of her mother. But as Yvette has like grown up in a very secluded like place, she does still go to school in like the little town and stuff like that, but she's really just been super interested in the idea of magic. And you might be asking, like, how does she know about magic if it's all like protected from her and stuff like that? There's just like little things, little clues she sees around the house, and she does seem to pry secrets from her maid, who does give her a little bit of detail about her life. Yvette's just kind of there, just wondering, kind of almost obsessing over this idea that something is missing from her life and something her mother is keeping from her. There comes a time where her mother gets extremely sick and delusional and very violent, to the point where she needs to kind of be almost sedated. The maid has no choice but to call a mage, a healing mage, in order to kind of help her, because, you know, she is a mage and she can't seek the attention of human doctors. When the mage healer is done with her and he comes out, he tells the maid that the mother is no longer sane and she is no longer fit to make decisions for her daughter Yvette. It is then agreed that Yvette is to be sent to her rightful place and enroll into the Mage Academy in order to be in her world and learn and just go to the school there, because she really has nowhere else to go. Another reason the council kind of decided to make this action is that Yvette actually is the granddaughter of a very powerful mage, and Yvette almost kind of realizes that as the story goes on, and she's almost like a celebrity. No one knew that this really powerful mage, that he had a granddaughter, Yvette. So when she does come to the academy, people are shocked and she basically becomes, yeah, like a celebrity. She then struggles to obviously catch up to the people her age who have been, you know, in this academy for their whole lives, but she does it with the help of her mother's best friend, who has a son called Elliot, and he just kind of helps her go through the ranks and kind of almost get propelled off. But since she is, you know, the daughter of a powerful mage, she has such big expectations, and sometimes she does get stressed about having to meet them. So she kind of just struggles with being the center of attention in a world she has no idea of. So that's kind of like the premise of the story. I think it is a little bit hard to explain. Of course, there's a huge like actual underlying plot, but that's just like where my story starts, and that's almost like a good thing for you to kind of just imagine where the story can go and like what potential it has and stuff like that. But because I do hear that talking about my stories really does inspire you guys, which inspires me, because like, oh my gosh, you guys like my stories? What? But it just means so much. So I hope you kind of enjoy that little spiel, and I'm sorry it didn't make any sense because I can't explain for my life. Anyways, let's go ahead and get back to writing. We need to plot this book out, but yeah, let's go ahead and get plotting. Time. I finished the prologue. I finished chapter 1 and chapter 2, which is kind of cool. It's currently 11:15, so that did take a little bit of time, but I think I was just trying to get into the headspace of the story and the book again, since I have like kind of shelved the idea for a little while now. But it's so good being like in the story again and just like feeling the potential of it. Like it feels like a force, and I'm just like really excited. Again, the way I plot is very simple. It's kind of just like technically it can be like a first draft, but it's very much like simple sentences, very like not descriptive, not well thought out. Sometimes like it's spelling mistakes and just like unstructured sentences and stuff like that. But it's just really simple. It's almost like dot points but in sentences. And again, if you did want to check out that plotting video, definitely do after this one. But I don't know, I just feel like plotting really does help just get the logistics, like the almost like the actions. Like if you read Acts in the Bible, it's like boom boom boom, just like the actions of the characters, but in this case like actual people, which kind of like makes sense. So that's kind of just like how I'm plotting. So yeah, I did actually spend some time thinking about the prologue. The prologue is kind of really creepy, and it does really set like the really interesting, like deep, really like scary, it gives me like Stranger Things vibes, honestly. It just kind of is such a contrast from like the first chapter to the prologue, and I love how the prologue's really short, just like basically 2 actions happen and like that's it. And then with chapter 1 and chapter 2, they're very simple, very easy, and just like really, yeah, it's like a big juxtaposition between like this monster, because in the prologue like a monster is kind of introduced, and then in chapter 1, chapter 2, it seems like, you know, a really simple life in chapter 1, but then in chapter 2 the main character Yvette, kind of like her life like basically changes, and she's told by her maid that she is gonna move to, I think, I didn't even know yet what the setting is. I want it to be kind of like mid 1800s like London, but I don't want it to be in London. Just like too unoriginal, but it could just be London. But basically she's going to a city where she's gonna be enrolled into the academy and learn magic. So another thing that I wanted to try to start doing whenever I start planning my books is to actually write like a working blurb. I feel like working blurbs really help when you are trying to just stay focused on your book, what it means, and even though you haven't written the whole plot yet, just having like the vibe of your book, the sort of things that you want characters to really grab a hold of, and the elements and like motifs and fables you really want to just reveal to your readers. But anyways, that is my update. Let's go ahead and continue plotting. I want to try to maybe get up to chapter 5 and see how I go today. So let's go ahead and get plotting. Okay, update. So I just finished writing 3 more chapters. It is getting exciting. She is finally like in her new house with her like foster kind of family, but they're more like the friends of Yvette's mother. But it's just so cool how Yvette gets to meet both Elliot and Jules, who are both siblings, and they kind of become like best friends. And I love their dynamic, especially with Elliot, because Elliot's a potential love interest. However, I think the story is doing very well. I am actually like writing and progressing through it a lot, which I'm kind of like low-key happy about. I just really hope I continue writing and just kind of thinking about it and just really detailing everything in my chapters and being very intentional about it. But anyways, that's it for this vlog. It's currently like 12:47, which is kind of crazy because I've been writing for like a few hours, which is very interesting. But anyways, please let me know your projects down below. I'd definitely love to hear them. I hope this vlog maybe helped inspire you guys just to like continue writing, continue plotting, and yeah, just try to get like a plot down before you start writing, because as I said at the start of the video about me just like getting out of my system in terms of like free writing and just like the really big impulse to start a completely new story and a new, like, you know, a book idea, and just to kind of like put that to the side and instead focus on what you already have like thought about very deeply, where you've done like world building, character building, you know, even a little bit of plot building. Just focus on what you've put the most time and effort into, because the reason why you put that much time and effort into that project is because you want that story to be told. And when there's just like a willy-nilly like idea, like, it's cool and it's good to have, just like write it down, put it somewhere safe, but like focus on what projects you already are working on. But I hope to do a lot more vlogs in the future as I continue writing this project especially. If you want more inspiration, definitely check out my other videos. But anyways, I hope to see you in my next one. And as always, keep writing. Bye bye guys!
Now you're telling me I'm special. You should have seen my potential. Riding the wheels off the bandwagon.